Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, the Red Sea is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. We can see that if we go on crypto bubbles, even though there are a few coins that have pumped pretty well, generally speaking, well, actually that's on the monthly. Generally speaking, things are in the red. They are in the dumps. We still have a few green, but overall, the whole market is bleeding. And ladies and gentlemen, that was to be expected, right? That was a high probability of happening. We know that when we look at Bitcoin, right? I talked about last week how, for me, I was thinking how, we could be sweeping these pretty much triple bottoms, even quadruple bottoms right over here. And even though we were close, we never got to it fully, right? We went up a little bit, but we could not get past this last relevant resistance zone. We could see we sold off massively. We engulfed massively. And then ever since then, we could tell the buying pressure has been weak, right? If we go and look at the chart like this on the 4 hour, right? You see most of the time it's been just choppy sideways because of the holidays and whatever. But generally speaking, we can see that every time we kind of broke from a zone, we retested it and continued to go lower, right? Broke from a zone, retested it and continued to go lower. So what I expect overall is for us to come back down here, maybe pull up for the final time to around 94, let's say 94,000, 94,300, and then fully sell off. That is what I personally expect because there's just too much liquidity at the bottom at this current moment to be, not taken out. I was really surprised, last week when things didn't get taken out, but I was like, you know what? Sometimes the markets, they don't have to, right? But then, as time went on, we got more and more confirmation that, hey, that's actually going to be likely scenario. And that is what I expect. Okay. We just have too much selling pressure, in my opinion. I would be generally really surprised. I would be genuinely really surprised if we had like a quadruple bottom or like 5 taps without anything getting swept. I'll be really surprised. So for me, this is going to be getting swept. We could possibly tap into this 87,500 area before we continue going up. I don't think this is the end of Bitcoin. I would be genuinely surprised if the whole cycle would be already coming to an end. I know things are a little forward, right? We do have to compare it to other times, right? Things are objectively a little forward. When the halving usually happens, price is around halfway through the point. But when the halving happened, we were all the way up here, right? We were already at pretty much all-time highs. So for me, could the cycle be a little bit ahead? It could be technically, right? If it's ahead by 1 or 2 months, 2 or 3 months, then altcoin season could happen like February or March, which wouldn't bother me personally, but right, I don't think it is necessarily. I just think there's just way more demand this time, hence why it just takes there's more buying pressure, right? We just had this accumulation for months and months on the end, and I don't think that's it, right? I don't think it was just one nice green candle and that's it, especially that the yearly candle is coming to a close. Very bullish, which means for me this is most likely just temporary pullbacks to be continuing going higher, right? For me, this is the equivalent of the 2020 candle where we create a new all-time highs, right? And then 2021 we continue to have that momentum, and that is what I expect, right? That is what I expect from Bitcoin. That is what I believe is going to be happening. I still believe we could run up to, I don't know, we could run up to 120, 130, 150 this cycle. Obviously, if things go crazy, we could even go up to 200K. But one step at a time, one step at a time. We're just gonna have to see. For me, this is not the end. For me, this is just liquidity sweep, correction to make a bigger move. We've seen historically, right, when we go on Bitcoin, right, that Bitcoin sometimes tops out a little bit and then does this thing for a month, right? It sells off for like a month and then it starts correcting and we're all good, right? We topped out early January last time And then we started to already push. By next month, we already had new highs. So for me, this is just one of those correction phases. Nothing too serious. It just needs a pullback to go further up. That is just how the markets work, right? They cannot just be going up. So yeah, for me, that is what I expect coming into 2025 is, starting to correct itself and starting to be pumping up, ladies and gentlemen, right? For me, liquidity sweep, liquidity sweep somewhere down to here, maybe somewhere down to here, and quick recovery, right? We know when the markets start recovering, within a week, they can recover half of what's been lost because that is just the way the markets work. So, let's just look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is holding at the moment at an interesting zone, right? I still personally need to see more confirmation, right? But we are kind of at a support zone. But like I said, I need to see this high break at the minimum, to get confirmation that we should be going up further. So we'll see what happens, right? At the moment, Bitcoin dominance is really concerning me too much. I already expected the Red Sea. If we go to something like Caspa, right? Selling off. Turbo, of course, selling off. We talked about Turbo earlier today. It's sold off. Pangolin, slow pressure. So for me, if you're talking about Pangolin, very slow pressure. XRP, right? We're still in the same channel. H bar, we're still in the same general channel. Right? XDC, right? Like I said, to 55 to 60 cents is where I expect things to do good, or that's where I expect for the pullback. Dia, right? Continuation sell off. So for me, it's not surprising that the whole market's still bleeding, right? We talked about here how we have no higher highs yet, right? Everything is a staircase, suggesting that we are going lower. However, like I said, the reversal might be in soon. This area over here is a huge area, right? This would be either the indicator of, okay, higher low, right? If this is the lowest low and we settle for here and we start bouncing up, then this will be a higher low. And this will be the start of the momentum shift. But until now, there's not enough confirmation. Once again, we are also retesting off of the all-time highs, right? In terms of total market cap. So that's also a thing, right? We also could be going back down to all the way 2.8 trillion because that is where the last, support is. So we could be going back down to 3 trillion, even down to 2.8, but it should not be going further than that, right? Those are the two key levels, but sometimes we do get a little bit of a further pullback. So like I said, the 3 trillion overall for the market is where I expect it to kind of start reversing. And if we do have a further pullback, then it would be down to the 2.8. It should not go lower than that because at that point, we're just breaking the whole structure and that would start concerning me. But like I said, I do think this is just a pullback to be going further up. Remember that there's lots of money involved nowadays. There's lots of money. So it can't just go straight up, a coin that has 1 million market cap will have like a cycle that literally lasts a couple hours before it pumps. While when we're talking about millions and billions of dollars in the market, it can't just go straight up all the time. It's just impossible. So, ladies and gentlemen, expect more accumulation throughout this cycle overall. It takes, like a reset to move the money. Can't just be going straight up. We're talking about lots of money here. So, yep, that's pretty much it. This is the Bitcoin update, a little bit altcoin update. And yeah, guys, Red Sea's upon us. But that's okay. Buying opportunities. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.